Jealousy of men towards women. What encouraged me to make this video today is I was scrolling down social media and I came across something that was very unfortunate and honestly extremely heartbreaking. A young lady was married to a man, and unfortunately he ended up lighting a match on her. Apparently she just opened up her brand new nursing school, and she opened up her new nursing business where she was going to start making a lot of money. She was excited, like it was a new business venture to her. And I guess he wasn't very fond of that. So he decided to take her out, the mother of his kids and his wife. I want to talk about jealousy and how when men are jealous of women. I talk about women being jealous of women all the time because we know women they're jealous of their own shadows, okay? So when you encounter another woman, you already know 9 times out of 10 that she's going to be jealous as hell, and she's going to compare everything and anything to you. That's just how women get down. That's not a surprise. That's expected. But the conversation about men being jealous towards women is talked about, but I definitely feel like it's not talked about enough. And that's what encouraged me to make this video. Women need to understand spiritual warfare. If you have not signed up for my spiritual warfare course or class, please sign it up. If you're not available at the time, you can purchase. The recording will still be available. I remember I was having this conversation with a family member and I said, have you noticed that every single relationship you've been in the past, every man that you've been with in the past was abusive? You don't see a pattern here? And they were like, oh my God, you're right. They have all been abusive. And I said, yeah, I clocked that. Like I got that download. I've noticed that every man that you have been with has tried to either abuse you physically, emotionally, spiritually, or mentally. And I said, that's spiritual warfare. She said, oh my God. You're right. I said, the devil is sending these men to take you out, sweetheart. It's not even them. There's a spirit delegated. The devil's like, you know what? She loves love and romance and she loves all that stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use men as a pawn for her. And I'm going to keep sending her men to abuse her. I'm going to keep sending her men to dismantle her. I'm going to keep sending her men who want to hurt her. I'm going to keep sending her men who try to make her have low self-esteem. I'm going to keep sending her men who are disrespectful. That's what the devil tries to do. So you have to be the one to make a decision and say, okay, this is not what God wants for me. It's spiritual warfare, ladies, when men that you encounter have this obsession with seeing in what way they can make your life a living hell. And seeing in what way they can make you feel insecure about yourself, seeing in what way they can make you feel like you are not worthy of good treatment, crushing your dreams, telling you can't accomplish this, you can't accomplish that. And there is a spirit delegated to that person for you specifically to break you down and tear you down. And I'll talk about stuff like this in my spiritual warfare class, when a lot of times it's not the person you're fighting, it's the entity within them that you are fighting. Okay? So a narcissist is in command for your life when you're dealing with jealous men. Jealous men, in my opinion, are in their toxic masculine energy. They're wounded and they don't take their anger out on other men because men can go toe to toe with them. So they take it out on a woman who is a weaker vessel. I'm not saying that women are weaker than men spiritually, but physically they are. Let's be honest. Physically, a man is stronger than you. You can't outfight a man. We know that. So those men in their wounded masculine energy who are very toxic, narcissistic, and unhinged, whatever negative emotions they're feeling, they take it out on women. They take it out on women. They're not going to therapy. They're not fixing the problem. They're going to take it out on women. So those narcissists, usually those jealous narcissistic men usually go after a girl who has something special about her. Whether it's her beauty that's special about her, whether it's her intelligence, whether it's her excitement for life. A lot of you ladies, you're optimistic, you're excited about life. You know, you have all these ideals, these things you want to do. Sometimes some men will go after your positivity. You know, you're a positive person. You have a positive outlook on life. They're negative and dark and unhappy. So that attracts them as well. And they are on assignment for you. And we'll talk more about this in the spiritual warfare class that will be linked in the description bar, about the relationship portion of it, of how sometimes the devil does send you people to dismantle you. What do they envy? When a man is jealous of a woman, what do they envy? The first thing usually is your looks. If you go out with your man and you're dressed up and you look amazing on his arm and you're walking into a restaurant and somebody gives you a compliment and you can see on his face that he's aggravated that you got complimented, you should be happy. If you weren't a man who was a punk and you got a good-looking chick on your arm, you should be like, yeah, that's right. She's beautiful and she's mine. That should be the energy. If you were aggravated that she got a compliment, well, I'm sorry, sir. Maybe I should have complimented you. You're the man. How many compliments would you like today? You want me to compliment your moccasins? You want me to compliment your plain button-up linen shirt? What would you like? Those type of men are very low in quality. Men who don't want the spotlight on their woman are very low in quality. They don't like themselves and they want to be worshipped. So as a result of that, when you are beautiful and they see that, they want to break you down, because in reality, they wish that they were the beautiful one, or they feel like you have some type of benefit from being beautiful. You have a benefit to get free stuff and they don't have that benefit. So pay attention, ladies, how a man reacts to when you're being praised or how a man reacts to when you're being complimented. Another thing that they may envy and be jealous of is your talent. Maybe you're very good at something and they've never found anything that they were good at. So they feel like that talent that you have may put you in special rooms and they have no talent. So they want to ensure that they dismantle you out of the ideals. Some men will try to trick you into not going to this school, not pursuing that dream, because if you do, it's going to make them uncomfortable, your progress, because they know that you're good at it. And some of them may just envy your elegance, the fact that you're classy and you're poised and you're balanced. I've had so many men jealous of me in the past. I mean, listen, I can handle jealous women. They won't get very far with me because I clock it easy and early, and there's not much they can do because, like I said, I don't really keep people around me. And when it comes to women, there's a very, very vigorous, in-depth vetting process before I allow them 5 feet of me. So I don't really deal with jealous women like that. Probably in social places, but they don't get close enough to me to do any damage. So I don't really deal with jealous women like that. That's not something that I encounter on a daily, maybe at the supermarket or something random. But as far as being in my life and coming over and coming to my home and setting me up and foolishness like that, I'm way too sharp for that nonsense because I cut them off after the first sign of anything weird. So as far as jealous women, that's not something I'm worried about because I don't really. But when it comes to jealous men, they are a little bit more subtle with their jealousy. And some of them are watching you guys online and they see how amazing you look and how amazing you are. And as a result of that, they are watching you online and they're like, wow, she's beautiful, she's smart, she has a lot of qualities about her. I want to see if I can try to pursue her. And in your mind, excuse me, and being a woman, in your mind, you're thinking, oh my God, like he really likes me. He's DMing me. He's telling me I'm so beautiful. He's telling me he likes who I am, how I am. He's pursuing me. And in his mind, he's like, this is my next project to humble. I'm just as weary of men as I am of women. Women I'm weary of, and I don't trust them by nature. I just don't trust them. It's my nature to not trust them. I've had women try to set me up to get trafficked, set me up to get robbed, I've had so much in my past. I don't trust them. That's definitely not how it's going to go. So I don't really worry too much because I know I'm protected because of my skills of not trusting them. But when it comes to men, I've developed the exact same approach because I don't really feel like they're much different. I feel like they still find women that they are not really as fond of as they act like they are. They just want to get close to you to experience you, maybe experience sleeping with you, intercourse, kissing with you, being in your presence. You're kind of like this foreign object to them. But once they get used to you and they realize that you are really amazing, that's when the humbling starts. Okay. Most men like their women domesticated. So you will realize this goes for women who are very intelligent, women who are intelligent, go-getters, women who are solid. Men are not going to like that. And I heard Shara 7 talk about this topic the other day. I was scrolling. It was a quick short video. It was like a 50-second video of her talking about that, a short clip. And she was talking about how men don't like that. Like if you're a smart woman, you're intelligent, you think men like that? They don't. Most men are extremely insecure. They're not going to tell you that. It doesn't matter if they have money. Men are extremely insecure, probably just as insecure as women. So the minute that you're smart and you are a woman who goes after what you want, you are a woman who is focused, you are a woman who is charismatic, you are a woman, you're a go-getter. They don't like that. They claim that they like that and they want that, but the minute they get that, they try to humble you and domesticate you, and they all do it. It doesn't matter if they're black or white, they're all the same. So what I tell women in particular is to definitely, when you're in the dating process, do not let your guard down. If a man over admires you, do not trust it. Especially if you're a beautiful woman. Beautiful women should trust no one. Beautiful women trust no one. Beautiful black women trust no one. If you consider yourself relatively attractive, no one is to be trusted, male or female, okay? There's something about beauty that triggers people to start acting out and acting very, 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 very unhinged, including the men. So when you look at the different women who are in this thumbnail that I created, this thumbnail is actually very interesting because they all have very, very interesting stories. I want to start with Whitney and Bobby. There was a interview with Whitney who was with Bobby, and I believe it was Oprah, I think, that asked Whitney, did she ever feel like Bobby was jealous of her? And she said, yes, I do feel like he's jealous of me. And I have always felt like he was jealous of what I've had. That's not a surprise. Whitney Houston is a Leo woman. If you are a fire sign, you will attract more jealousy than all the other signs because you're on fire. You walk in a room, you set it up in flames, you light up the place, you're vibrant, and people can't handle that. So what they do is, and this is coming from me, like I'm fall in the same category. Me and her are only a couple days apart as far as our birthdays. And women like that have to be extremely cautious with people because your energy makes people feel small. Even if you're indirect, same thing with Nikki, another fire woman. Your energy makes people feel very tiny and you're not doing it on purpose. They just naturally feel that way. Okay, so Bobby was very jealous of Whitney. I don't know. It was just strange, the whole situation with the substance use. And I don't know. I kind of just felt like she overshined him in many different ways and he just couldn't handle it. And she decided to disregard the truth about them in comparison and stick it out with him anyways, but that didn't work out. Same thing with Nikki and Meek Mill. I'm happy that Nikki gave Meek Mill the boot. Allegedly, I'm not saying the truth, but allegedly, Mr. Meek Mill actually tried to put hands and get physical with Nicki Minaj, and he's tried to abuse her on several occasions. It's very disgusting and disrespectful that a man would find a beautiful queen like that, who's talented, who's on herself, who takes care of her family, and thinks that he has the audacity to put hands and disrespect her. But that's the thing. Jealous men purposefully pursue women who have it going on. That's why when you're a woman that has it going on, you should look at men sideways. I always look at men sideways. Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, I don't care. I always look at them sideways because what do you want? What's your agenda? What's your plan? What's your intention? What do you want? Because they cannot be trusted. And they watch you and they hunt you and they gather information about you. And in reality, they're trying to get near you to make you feel like you're really not all that. You're really not all that important. You're really not. It's their goal to make sure that you feel that way. And Mr. Meek Mill, I believe that allegedly, I'm saying allegedly over and over again, Nicki was supposed to have a documentary that came out that would highlight the way that he would beat on her and do crazy things. And somebody in power decided to get the documentary about her delayed, or they tried to keep it from airing because of the parts that she put in about him and the crazy stuff he was doing to her. And that's another problem with the Black community, is the protection of abusers. And that's another reason why I stopped talking to my family. In the African American community, they tend to want to protect toxic, abusive people. Okay, in my family, everybody wants to protect the narcissistic, abusive person. Okay, that uncle that likes to, lust after the younger women at the barbecue. Black families like to protect people like that. That's part of the culture, is to protect abuse. And me being a woman raised in the suburbs, I went to a school with predominantly Jewish and Italian children and kids. The white community doesn't really play that mess. Like if you're out of control, you're out of control, and they're going to call you out about it. The Black community is very passive of bad behavior, which is why, for example, someone like Diddy was able to get away with everything he got away with for several years, because the Black community always looks away from abusive behaviors and no one says anything. They just sit there and they watch it happen. You know that your uncle is at the barbecue and he's lusting after the young lady sitting down. He's lusting after her. You see him licking his lips as he drinks his beer, but nobody says anything. And they continue to bring him around young women and young girls from the ages of 12 to 16. That happens in the Black community all the time. That's a story for another time, but abuse is always protected in the Black community and bad behavior. Okay? So they canceled her documentary because they were trying to protect him, because a lot of the things that he's done was in that documentary and they didn't want that out. And then I'll move on to Miss Cardi and Offset. The minute a man tells you from the moment he meets you he's going to marry you, that's a narcissist, lady. It's not, ladies, that's a narcissist. That's not something to feel like, that's the thing with women. Women are so obsessed with fairy tales that the minute a woman hears the word wedding, it doesn't matter if that man drags her by a hair across the front lawn. The minute they hear the word wedding, they are ready to drop whatever it is, ignore whatever it is, because they want to be called a wife. Because women like fairy tales. For me personally, if a man ever tells any of you ladies, hey, I'm going to marry you, the first time he meets you, run. He's a narcissist. He's going to abuse you. He's abusive. You don't tell someone you're going to marry them from the moment that you meet them. You take your time to get to know them and see if you guys are comparable. The minute a guy tells you that, it's a guy who's been watching you for a while. And a man who watches you behind the scenes is not attractive. It's very predatory. And unfortunately, that is where Cardi B fell into. And Offset said, at the end of the day, I won because you're my baby mother. So it was his agenda the whole time to get her pregnant and build a family with her and marry her and be abusive. Okay, and unfortunately, do I feel bad for Cardi? A little bit, but not really, because she's a pick-me. Pick-me women love to, let's be honest, she did hire men to go beat up strippers at a strip club because of her cheating husband. That's pick-me behavior. Women who turn on other women and try to beat up other women and try to abuse other women because your man is a dog. I don't respect women like that. Do I feel bad for her? Yes. Do I respect her? No. There's a difference. You did hire, those men put those women in a hospital. You have to be a very insecure woman to pay men thousands of dollars to go to a club and put their hands on another woman and put those women in a hospital. That's ridiculous. So do I feel bad for her? Yes. Do I respect her? No. I don't respect pick-me women who choose a cheating man and try to take their anger out and misdirect their anger towards other women. I don't respect women like that. And the main reason why is because I've been on the receiving end of a woman with a cheating husband or a cheating man, and I have nothing to do with her man, but the fact that her man is in my DMs, I'm the one getting the backlash. So I don't respect women like that, but let's move on. And then we have, of course, Tiana Taylor and Iman Sherbert, I believe that's his name. He's trying to take majority of her assets. Oh, wow, I forgot a couple. The girl from The Bachelor, I forgot to add her on here because her man's trying to take all her assets. But again, he's battling to try and take all of Tiana Taylor's assets because she makes more than him. And again, it's the same thing. She said that he was jealous of her. He said he was very abusive. She said that he would try to belittle all of her things that she accomplished. It's nothing new. Okay? And then, of course, we have Mr. Mark Daly here next to Kenya Moore. We all know what he did to Miss Kenya. If you watch The Real Housewives, it was absolutely disgusting the way this man treated this woman on national TV. And I feel like he treated her worse on national TV because he wanted to be able to publicly humiliate her. So he would wait until the cameras were on to treat her the worst because he wanted to publicly create a representation that she was worthless in front of the public eye. So when I look at these women, I feel bad for them because they were women who let their emotions get in the way. I always teach women to never let emotions get in the way. I always teach women, arrest your emotions and put your emotions on a leash. Because if you don't do that, you are going to end up in negative situations because your heart wants what it wants. I understand that you can like a man, but if he is disrespectful and he's jealous and he's abusive, it doesn't matter how much you like him. He needs to go. And when you stop letting your emotions control you in life, you will get farther in life because your emotions are on a leash. Okay, the minute it's like a dog that's trying to make you go in the wrong direction and you pull the leash on the dog to reel him right back in to the right path. That's how you have to treat your emotions, ladies and gentlemen. It's very, very in a negative situation to be in a relationship with a man who is jealous of you and is jealous of the gifts that God has given you and the crown that God has placed on your head.